Hello, today's topic will be about the classical elements which typically refer to fire, air, water, and earth as first proposed by the Greek pre-Socratic philosopher Empedocles. And Plato seems to have been the first to use the word element, in Greek stoicheon or stichion, and one of these two pronunciations is right. I'm still not fluent in Greek, but this term he used in reference to fire, air, earth, and water. Now, these elements correspond to spirit, mind, soul, and body of a man and are symbolical of the spiritual, mental, psychic, and physical processes in one. In different cultures and among individual philosophers, these have or had varying explanations about their attributes. Sometimes these theories overlap with mythology, sometimes with atomism. So air is hot and moist, fire is hot and dry, earth is cold and dry, and water is cold and moist. The elements are according to two contrary qualities, opposite one to the other, as fire to water and earth to air. They're also contrary on another account. Earth and water are heavy, and fire and air are light. Therefore, the Stoics called earth and water passives and fire and air actives. Now, Plato distinguished them in another manner and assigns to them three qualities: to the fire, brightness, thinness, and motion, and to the earth, darkness, thickness, and quietness. So according to these qualities, the elements of fire and earth are contrary. The other two elements, air and water, borrow their qualities from fire and earth. So the air receives two qualities from the fire, thinness and motion, and from the earth, one, darkness. And water receives two qualities of the earth, darkness and thickness, and from the fire, one, motion. But fire is twice as thin as air, 3 times more movable and 4 times brighter, and the air is twice more bright, 3 times more thin, and 4 times more movable. In this way, as fire is to air, so is air to water, and water to the earth. And again, as the earth is to the water, so is water to air, and air to fire. And this is the root and foundation of all bodies, natures, and works. According to Hermes Trismegistus, fire and earth are sufficient in itself for the operation of all things. The fire is active, the earth passive, and according to ancient scriptures, mostly Oriental, the first element is the principle of fire. The fire is ruled by Sun and Mars, it comes and goes bright, and it is in all things. After digging the earth, it causes it to smoke. In water, it heats springs and wells. It is in the depths of the sea. In the air, in the winds, causes them to be hot and to burn. All living things are preserved by heat, and the properties of fire are heat, making all things fruitful, and a celestial light, giving life to everything. Fire signs are, as we know, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Central sign is Leo, month August, when light shines the brightest. Fire trinity controls space as an area or premises, not space as universe. Symbol for the fire element is a triangle that points upward. The basis and foundation for all elements is the earth, for it is the object, the subject, and receptacle for all celestial rays and influences. It is ruled by Mercury, Saturn, and sometimes Venus. It is being made fruitful by the other elements and so brings forth all things of itself. It receives abundance of all things and is, so to say, a fountain from which all things spring. Everything becomes. It is the center, the foundation, and mother of all things. Now, Agrippa mentions, when speaking of the element of earth, when being reduced to its utmost simplicity by being purified by fire and washed by water, that it is the first and principal ingredient necessary for the production of the philosopher's stone. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Taurus being in the center, month May, when earth is booming and flourishing. Earth trinity controls matter. Earth signs are less prone to fevers than other signs. An interesting fact to some may be that Taurus and Virgo are considered to be the earthquake signs. The symbol for the earth element is a downward pointing triangle with a line through it. Air is ruled by Uranus and Mercury. The ether, which was later added by Aristotle as the fifth element, is ruled by Uranus, but by Jupiter too. The condition of air has much to do with everything happening around us and in our bodies, and the atmosphere is much acted upon by planetary influences each day. The air can be corrupted and polluted by planetary vibrations and aspects, causing epidemics, pestilence, famine, disease, and under certain planetary influences, some epidemics can spread over the world or parts of the world ruled by the zodiac signs involved in the planetary configurations for the time. Air is a vital spirit passing through all living beings, and it is moving and filling all things. As such, it was not always recognized as the element, but more as a medium or glue joining things together. It immediately receives into itself the influence of all celestial bodies and then communicates them to the other elements. Air can come in many forms. It can be healthy or unhealthy, impure, stagnant. For example, Saturn as a sole ruler at a solar eclipse makes the air turbulent and gloomy. Jupiter in Taurus, Cancer, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and in Pisces makes air healthy. And Jupiter in an angle at an equinox or solstice and receiving the application of the moon at the new moon brings good and healthy air. Now, the air signs, also known in some circles as the sweet signs, and nervous signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The central sign is Aquarius when the winds are strong. Air trinity controls time. The symbol for the air element is an upward triangle with a line through it. And water. There is a great necessity for water, as without it nothing can live, no herb, plant, animal, or human. Water is ruled by the moon and Neptune. Thales of Miletus, one of the 7 sages or Sophoi, and Hesiod, a Greek poet, mentioned that water was the beginning of all things and said that it was the first of all elements and the most potent, and it has mastery over the other elements. Fortunate on the water are those who in their charts have Jupiter in Cancer or Pisces. Now, water rules and influences the blood in the body and is connected with every fluid inside as much as outside. Water is fruitful and has much to do with self-preservation and self-protection. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, Scorpio being the center in the month of November when rivers are strong and rising. Water trinity controls energy and is related to hydrogen, the most abundant gaseous element with no taste and color. The symbol for water element is a downward pointing triangle. As for the elementary spirits, these are the unseen intelligences who inhabit the 4 elements. Paracelsus called them Ding, mysterious beings, and they are sylphs or sylvesters, pygmies or gnomes, nymphs or undine, and vulcani or salamanders, but he never claimed to have seen them. Nicolas Pierre-Henri du Montfaucon de Villas, a French abbot and writer, is considered to be the best source on this subject. According to his works, the creatures of elements were there before the fall subject to Adam in all things, and by doing certain performances we can restore this ancient communication and one can call upon the elementary spirits. So the creatures of the air are called sylphs. They are composed of the purest atoms of the air, and according to Paracelsus, they are rougher, coarser, taller, and stronger than humans. The air is filled with great number of beings in human form, somewhat fierce in appearance, but of tame and mild nature. They are interested in science, subtle but hostile towards the ignorant. They are also capricious, inconstant, agile, and active. Females are masculine in beauty, which can be seen, for example, in Amazon warriors. The seas and rivers are inhabited as well as air, and female population exceeds the male. Women being exceedingly beautiful, more beautiful than any human. Now, sylphs rule east and are of bilious or choleric temperament, so hot and dry. The elementals are said to be able to move through their own elements as human beings move through the air. Because of this, sylphs are the closest to humans in this conception because they move through air like people. While in the fire they burn, in water they drown, and in earth they get stuck. Spirits of the earth are called gnomes, composed of the finest essence of the earth, and the earth is filled almost to the center with gnomes, so people of smaller stature, the guardians of subterranean treasures, minerals, and precious stones. They are ingenious, friendly, and easy to command. They provide everything one may need, especially funds or money, asking no other reward for their services than the glory of performing them. They are greedy but hard-working, good-tempered, and patient. The gnomids, females, are small but very good looking, and they dress quite peculiarly or oddly. Gnomes rule the north, and they are of melancholic disposition, so cold and dry. The spirits of fire are salamanders, composed of the most subtle particles of the sphere of fire, the inhabitants of the region of fire. They serve the philosophers, but are not over-anxious for their company. And their females are rarely seen, but are still very beautiful beyond all other elementals, as they dwell in a purer element. Their habits, laws, way of life, and manners are admirable. They're hot and hasty, but energetic and strong. Salamanders rule the south, and they are of sanguine temperament, so hot and moist. The spirits of water are nymphs or undine, composed of the most delicate particles of water. They're mostly female, which is consistent with the idea that water is the female element. They're found in waterfalls or in forest ponds or lakes, and their beautiful singing voices are sometimes heard over the sound of water. They're jealous and cold, but observant. According to Paracelsus, what they lack compared to humans is an immortal soul. Undine rule the west. They are of phlegmatic temperament, so cold and moist. Pan, for example, was the first and oldest of the nymphs. Sylphs, gnomes, and undine are more familiar with the humans than are the salamanders on account of their shorter term of life, and it was considered to be easier to get in touch with them. There is a whole process on how to contact them, but it is complicated and long. And by some it was believed that there are numerous degrees among these beings, the highest resembling the lowest angels, while the lowest may be mistaken for demons, which of course they are not. And this is it for today. There is always so much more that can be said about any topic, subject, and if you have something to add about elements, please do in the comment section below. I will finish today's video with a quote by Albert Einstein, who said to look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. Thank you for being here today. Please subscribe and press a like button, and I will see you next week. Bye.